Hello again, golfers, and welcome to the 19th episode of Inside the Ropes, a deeply personal journey with Scottie Walnuts, a PGA Tour 2K25 course showcase series. I'm your host, Scottie Walnuts, and today we're checking out a brand new B101 course called El Marenal. Just a reminder that we film these episodes live on Twitch every Tuesday night beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're very welcome to join us live on Tuesday nights, and the link for that is below in the description. So back in episode 14, we showcased Shell Bay Links by B101, and that one is an established 2K course that you see on Ranked and has been out for a while. But now today we have El Marenal, and this one just dropped within the last week or so. So it's brand new B101 content on the scene, and who loves this game wouldn't be excited about that. This course features a masterful environment where on the inland, the majority of the course itself lies. You get nicely manicured and smoother terrains, but throughout the course, you'll see where the dunes separate the inland from the more rugged coastal areas and the ocean. And we'll see how on a few of the holes, particularly the par threes, we'll get these green sites sitting right on top of the dunes where the two sub-environments transition from one to another. So let's take a look at the designer description where B101 in his own words says, a tropical course inspired by Seminole and the Park West Palm. Plays best with high winds in whatever direction you choose. So that's the designer description, and on the designer's recommendation, we're going to play on high winds. It's a par 72 featuring 3 sets of tees, the shorter end green tee at 6,568 yards, the blue tee at 7,066 yards, and the tips, the black tee, where we'll play from at 7,323 yards. Just a reminder, we're on TGC Tour's Platinum Tour settings for a round, which is Legend Swing difficulty, and we use a default ball, so we'll get a sense of how the course plays on the difficulty played by the best players in the world. And if you enjoy the showcase, remember to smash that like and subscribe button and leave a comment to let me know what you think of the course and the round. So we're set up at El Marenal. Tips pin 3, high winds as the designer description recommends. To the south, and then all defaults, which are firm, extremely firm on the greens, and fast on the green roll. And why don't we head on up there, play some golf. All right, so we got water visible right off of the first tee here. It's in play on the left-hand side off of the tee. 452-yard par 4 that we've got here. What's up, Brad? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you, sir. 452-yard par 4. Just a nice, pretty. I find myself really relaxing as I take a look at our tee shot here. It's not overly crowded with planting or anything, but just nice and smooth. We'll see how it is as we get out there, but first look at the course here. Drive's going to leave us 153 yards into the wind. We're extremely firm greens on the bounce, although a short iron into the wind like that is going to check up for us nicely. We got 12 feet for birdie on the opening hole. Sign of the cut. We're off and run with the birdie on the opener. All right, 509-yard par four second hole. It moves left to right, and especially with the wind, it's going to play even longer because the wind is moving us to the left as well. There might be a temptation to try and take a power drive right over this corner here, because if not, you're looking at a long shot in. I mean, you're still looking at a long shot in anyway, but at least cut a bit of the distance off of it if we get bold. Let's try it. That is badly pushed, and on legend difficulty with a power drive, that does not equate to anything really great. We catch a bit of a break, I think, because we do have a clearing towards the green. And a good shot. And looks like we're going to still find the green in regulation. And the shot's getting better and better. "17 feet with movement, considering the circumstances, not bad." And we'll take our par there. We will take our par there. Feels a bit vacuumous without the. I'd forgotten to put the menu and between hole music on between the at the beginning of the session. 461-yard par four here. We can start to see where this course opens up into the ocean. 461-yard par four. It's uphill. It's with the wind, and even more so probably with the wind. Bit of a tricky fairway to navigate here. Just got to hit your shot. You just got to line it up and hit it. That one's going to put us in a nice spot there. Probably worth sacrificing a few yards with the choked drive there just to find fairway. You can see we're still going to have a wedge in. 50 degrees on this one. Tailwind. A little bit uphill. Gets a first bounce on the fairway, which might take some of the spin off of it, but pretty good spot here. 13 feet. Tricky putt, though. That one's just not going to stay up for us. It's not quite going to stay up for us. So coming to the fourth hole, another par four. This one's 319 yards. This one's downhill. Most players are going to start thinking about this one and whether they can get there. Some danger right, danger left as well, but a nice little sort of pocket if you can find it there. And then this particular pin, very interesting. On its own little, got its helping slopes around it. So there's an opportunity here. And there's also some danger if you don't pull it off, as most good drivable par fours will have. Just a calculated bounce off of the terrain there. Not quite on the green, but not a bad leave at all. Just a little strong. That ball never came down. Aggressive effort at Eagle. Leaves 6 feet, but not really an easy 6-footer. Be a bit careful here. You just got to be a little bit careful with those ones when you're way outside the hole from short in. On your line. $515 for the first time. We don't have a par 4 in this round. 515-yard par 5. Wind behind us, you'd think there's an opportunity here potentially if you hit your shot. Wind coming the other way would be a very interesting shot. It's a little bit too bad just from the intrigue point of view that that we don't have a headwind here, because that would be a really interesting decision, really interesting shot. Extra careful to veer ourselves away from the water there, and luckily we didn't get too caught up in that tree area. So we do get to take an iron in to a par 5 here. Probably a 7-iron over water here. Neat how, like, you got sort of almost like a sort of Florida style, just like low water coming through, but then you've also got like, or yeah, and then you've got like actual ocean and beach over here. We've also, what do we have over here? Well, isn't this interesting? Beautiful. Some sort of spot for the people. Some sort of spot for the people. So probably a choked up 7-iron here, thinking is the play. Extremely firm greens should really sort of be a, yeah, really skidding and rolling out there, at least by 7-iron standards. Leaves us 7 feet for birdie, or for eagle, I mean. Which is converted, and that gets us to 4 under through the first 5 with the eagle on the par 5 fifth there. That 4th and 5th hole back to back is fun, especially the first 3 holes. Like, they're not crazy challenging, but like you definitely don't have the same opportunity, and then you get to the fourth and fifth, and there's opportunities there. 197-yard par three. First hole that's really actually like along the coastal part, the ocean part, or whatever this here is. Beautiful look. So we go from the more sort of settled, manicured landscaping, like well landscaped areas inland, and then you sort of over the like along on the dune even. You got the dunes. It's very neat how this hole's sort of like on the dune that separates the inland from the coastal land from the beach. What's up, Maverick? Appreciate you coming in. Bit of a tricky shot up there. 16 feet though. Don't think we specifically mentioned, but we're on 182 greens. That's what they're rolling on, and we will make that putt. Yeah, it's neat how you have the sort of complementary like environments here. What's up, Bear? Appreciate coming in. 478-yard par four seventh hole, and particularly, especially into the wind. This one's going to play long on us. Um, and you can see the more direct of a line you want to take, the faster the fairway runs out. How you see it sort of on that diagonal curve as the fairway extends to the end there. And that's a trade-off that each golfer is going to have to decide. Although it's less of a decision into the wind. With the wind, this would actually be a far more interesting shot to hit. So it's kind of too bad that we don't have that. But as far as not running out of fairway, this is a very helpful win for us. And that'll settle with plenty of room on just the firm. It's the extremely firm greens that are you got to be careful with. The firm fairways are a little bit more familiar. 178 yards in, pretty much dead headwind, almost maybe just a little bit left to right, but this ball's going to get knocked down hard. We're going to use a 5-iron. Not going to say we really nailed that one by any means, but opportunity for an up and down here. Brings us a little bit back down to earth after that birdie eagle birdie run over the last 3 holes prior. We got a 360-yard par 4. And the pin, in this case, is right deep out the back. Not not a ton of green on either side to miss. $97 primarily right to left crosswind here. Ball's a little bit above the feet too. And just a little bit of calculated spin on that one. Pulling the string back on that one. Birdie on 8. 582-yard par 5 ninth hole. See the pin out in the distance there. Or drive, try and cut some yards down off of it. So I'm pretty sure if we don't do that, then we're looking at a 3-shotter of a hole anyways. So you can take a little bit of a risk and squeeze some extra yards. I think we got ourselves an iron in here. 3-iron, but an iron. Yeah, 9 to finish up the front at 7. We're just going to pop into the clubhouse here for a quick moment, and we'll see you back on the 10th tee. I am muted, aren't I? Alright, certainly was after we came back from the clubhouse on the 10th hole there. Played that entire 10th hole. Talking all about it. Providing fascinating insights that nobody will ever know because we were on mute. Appreciate you coming in, Jack. In a nutshell, we took 3 off the tee because of the water ball off the tee on 10, and then we played it in 3 shots, which was, of course, actually 5 shots because we were 3 off the tee, make the bogey, and here we are now on the 11th hole, par 3 11th hole. And we'll get that stroke back right away. .461-yard par 4. And you can see, and now this is an interesting wind because it's going to really ask us to like really sort of cut this ball around the trees there. As we got Dr. Brouhaha coming in with the follow. Welcome in to the doctor. Gonna ask us to really, not even sure that that ball stays on the fairway, to be honest. We might be wise to like give it some room short and just find a fairway or even possibly consider a 3-wood. I actually think upon further consideration we're going to get a 3-wood out there. You can see that one pretty much touching the trees, and this one even might find the bunker despite our best efforts to navigate away without making this hole into a par 5, practically speaking. 164 yards, but we're in the sand. Choke up on an 8-iron here. We can see that house, or that clubhouse that we took a look at on the front 9 on the approach again here. Table set up like it's a restaurant or venue, or like function venue. We'll make the birdie after all on the tricky one. Yeah, appreciate that, Dr. Brew. And you can let us know if there's anything else that's easier to call you or what your name is. And what we're doing here right now, what we're doing here tonight is a little bit different because these very words, this very interaction will be up on YouTube as a YouTube episode. This episode will be up on Sunday. By the time you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be Sunday, February 15 or later. Other 6 night of the week, other 6 nights, give or take, of the week. We're playing our societies, our TGC tours. We got music going. So it's a bit of a different. But glad that you found your way here. So 13th hole par 5. We've got water on the right. Thankfully, the pin is on the left side of the green. Headwind might actually help us to slow this ball down a little bit. Oh, did you? I'm sorry if I would have got back to that if I'd seen it. I thought I got notifications for the comments. The answer is yes, you can. Um, we got 17 feet for a second eagle of the round here. Eagle on 13. You can see we also had one on 5 back there, really bouncing back in a strong way after that bogey on 10. You can search by designer, but you need to already know one of their courses, search that course, and then bring up the settings. And one of the settings, like on PlayStation, it's triangle, I think. And then you search by designer name or search like more courses or whatever the button says. 192-yard par 3, 14th hole. We're a little bit uphill and we have a tailwind. Big red slope in front of the pin. That's should help us slow this ball down. That's going to be coming in hot with the tailwind onto the extremely firm green surface. Another par 3 that sort of straddles the top of the dune, separating the coastal land from the inland. Keeping it rolling there on 14. You can see it's 37 on the front 9 and then par 35 on the back 9. 354-yard par 4. This one's downhill. If we had a tailwind, we'd be considering going at this one, but at the same time, you can see if you did have a tailwind, just use your imagination for a second. If you do have a tailwind and this hole is downhill, you can see 31 feet downhill. You're looking at running off into this water, I think, if you're not careful with it, or if you pull it. This is actually a really interesting hole, but we're not going to get its full. And you can see, and we've identified it a few different times, and but the wind direction can like really change. I mean, it often does, but I mean on this hole or on this golf course, it's like quite notable. Um, and I'm glad we selected the high wind that the designer description recommended as well, because usually we're playing these showcases on the medium wind, but for this one, because the designer specified, we're out here in the high wind. 100 yards flat on 15. Probably not a bad thing that we underswung that just a little bit. We were always going to be long on the carry, and then ball had sort of turned around and spins in not the most helpful direction. You can see we're right on the well, the pins on this particular pin's on a bit of a crown here. You can see in the context of this entire green, you can see it's sort of just perched up on its own, right up at the front here. 29 feet. Breaks in both directions. Yeah, we'll just take our two putt par and move on there. Heading to a par 5. 536-yard par 5. It is uphill, but we do have a tailwind. Temptation definitely is to power drive and just cut this corner right off, especially with the wind. That could almost not be any more perfect for this particular shot. That one worked out for us. Tee shot there out over 340 yards uphill. And we still got a little ways in, but it is an iron. And with this tailwind, this ball's going to skid hard on its first bounce on the extremely firm green surface. And just as we're setting up to hit this green in two, we got Heels coming in with a big ol' raid party of 29. Welcome in. Caterpillar, welcome in. Thank you, Heels. See if we can't line up something a little special for you, for the folks coming in. 20 feet for Eagle. And that's for all the folks coming in with Heels. That's an Eagle on 16 there. We're out here, checking out a brand new B101 course. And we're also recording for YouTube, so it's a bit of a different feel here tonight than it is on the other nights. But glad that you're all here all the same. What's up, Skyline? Got a beautiful little 17th hole par 3, just 124 yards, but neat how most, if not all, of the par 3s are sort of sitting right along the because you have views of the coast throughout the round, but the course itself doesn't really interact. You can, as we take a look back here, most of the course is on the inland, but then you get these par 3s where you just get a really neat sort of bridging the gap of the two worlds. 124 yards. We're going to take a 56-degree wedge. Bit of a tight pin there, but it's got room for the right shot to settle in. Twenty feet. See the three eagles on the card there. The only bogey coming as a result of a single shot that led to stroke and distance penalty on a par 4, so we were 3 off the tee. Birdie with the second ball is a bogey. 18th hole here, 470 yards. And we'll take a look at that. Take a look at that clubhouse or structure behind the green there when we're up there. Got a good piece of that one. Should shorten this hole considerably. 154 yards in, but just before we hit our final approach shot, take one last look. And this, this particularly on the green behind it, you can see there when you're coming at that green from the other way, and you get a look at it from a couple different sides throughout. Sort of a mysterious presence almost throughout the course, but you can see a restaurant or venue of some sort for when you're finished your round. "154 yards, a little bit uphill, a little bit of a helping right to left breeze." Give ourselves a decent look at birdie, 13 feet. That one just a notch on the high side, but we'll tap in no problem for the 2-putt par. That's 28 on the back. That's a 14 under, 58. I mean, when you put 2 and 2 together, Skyline, right? Take a quick look at our scorecard before we wrap things up here. We were out in 7 under. We were in 7 under. 3 eagles. We had the bogey on 10, lending to the stroke and distance penalty due to an errant tee shot. And at the end of the day, we are in the clubhouse with a 14 under, 58. Watching another edition of Inside the Ropes, a deeply personal journey with Scottie Walnuts. If you enjoyed the show, remember to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment to let me know what you thought about the round. Remember, we're live most evenings on Twitch with golf and sometimes other sport and story games, and we film these episodes in front of a live studio audience on Twitch every Tuesday night. Link in the description. TM high and let 'em fly.